G'day, g'day. We're having a look at a Lycan replay, apparently. Um, so I like that you ran out here and placed this forward. You gave a ward to Zeus, you recognised that he wasn't placing it, so you gave it, you went and placed it early. It was good. If you are buying the early sentry, like it is really good for picking up their observer, but it can also be really good, like obviously not this game because it's Zeus, but it can be really good to give it to your mid. A good place, sort of at lower MMRs, to chuck the sentries just in the middle of these trees. You'll more than likely pick up whatever they've got going on.
First blood. Well,
your team's done a gank on the Axe, but it really doesn't mean anything because he's still going to get out there for wave 2. So who gives a fuck?
The battle begins.
I guess also you've got the sentry for Sand King. Silence is a really great hero, especially against like Tinker. I like the pick a lot. I was looking through a lot of your past games. Pull it up here. It seems like you've been playing a lot of Shadow Demon. I don't really get it. I do want to watch one of these games, see how you're playing him, what you're playing him with. It does sort of seem to be a little bit random. I mean, like, sure, he's great with like a Medusa. He's okay with a Chaos Knight. He's like basically just really good with like Medusa or Luna or Terrorblade. I would say Terrorblade is one of his better pairings because you can just make illusions of the illusions and use that to get a lot of farm yourself. Yeah. In terms of sentry placement, hold. Yeah, go back. You sort of want to be holding it before you see how he's doing his Sandstorm, and then go from there. Use that to fuck with it. I don't know why these heroes like Sven, Shadow Fiend. It's weird. Axe is playing the lane for some reason.
no more.
I don't know if you're telling him to cut, but you should be. I'm excited to see what happens this game. For some reason, this game, I was actually really excited to look at because it looks very interesting and the lineups are good. It just never downloads. I think it's bugged out somehow. If you could send it to me, that'd be great. But Zeus Tinker, it's a trade lane. If Zeus keeps playing the way that he is, he's going to lose it. Basically, Zeus just farms because Laser can't stop him farming, and then Tinker farms. Zeus gets a couple denies, but Tinker farms the lane, goes to jungle. Axe really needs to stop going back to lane here. You rotating down is actually fine, but he just needs to go and cut this lane. So basically what happens with the offlaner, it's kind of nerfed now because you can't buy double stout, but like Darkseers and Axe used to do it. Axe can still do it because he's Axe. But as one stout, he runs over here. The first wave comes through. The POS 4 gets level 2 off the first wave. And then Axe just farms every wave that comes from here. And then uses Battle Hunger to stop the support harassing him because Battle Hunger just shreds people. You rotate down, and that actually forces Monkey out of lane. Oh, he's supporting. Okay, yeah, he's playing that thing. Jug could have just straight up killed him. Maybe. So yeah, I'm not sure if you're playing the same like lead commanding role as you were in this game, but the laning stage is not going great. Axe should be down here. These lanes are quite detrimental.
Excellent.
And you should be trying to get up there. But on the bright side, basically as long as Troll doesn't get a lot this game and Monkey King doesn't somehow snowball into being a core, this game's an easy win because you've got Zeus into Tinker. You don't really care how big Tinker gets. Once you have Zeus Silencer, he's just not a hero. It's like gonna have such a shit time. That was a good stun dodge, but I think you might die here now.
Taking notes because people are gonna love reading about.
Probably. Zeus actually gets the kill. So yeah, basically, I mean, Axe doesn't really even do well. Axe is good against Troll's ulti, but like, even if he doesn't have a great game, it doesn't matter because he wasn't going to do a lot. But now he's kind of getting the idea and cutting. It's a little bit late. Groom's kind of in a position to fuck him up with Monkey. If Monkey rotates down and gets an Ink Swell, he's just dead, but it's fine for now. Zeus is going to get ganked. Basically, all you got to do right now is like get a little bit of experience from here, keep a sentry in this lane, and then be stacking. That's like all you can do at this stage, just because you're not a great laning hero, not a great kill hero, and all of your lanes are losing. So your best thing to do is let your carry get the level that they need to jungle, and have the jungle ready for them to get huge amount of experiences when they jungle, and then you'll have time to sit in the lane while they're jungling to get your levels. So instead of like sharing the experience like you do in a traditional lane, if you fast forward their jungling experience, you end up with a fast forwarded laning experience later on.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So it's that level of trade. I would be very careful about your positioning, especially after like you died to Monkey in the way that you did. If you're like anywhere far away from tower, you're gonna get fucked up, whether you know he's here or not. Yeah, it looks like that's what's about to happen. We'll just speed this up a bit. But basically, the way that I see this game going is Zeus is going to get an Ags. He's going to fuck up the Tinker. Tinker's going to get annoyed and have to buy a 4-star for a BKB. And then because the cooldown reduction doesn't work on... because the cooldown reduction doesn't work on Ags Lightning Bolt anymore, he's going to be able to get his 4-star for BKB off, and then you're going to have Global Silence to stop that happening, and then he's just going to die. He's going to die back at some point. Game's going to end. Zeus made a good rotation off the back of a haste rune. That's great. Vespirit is just having the worst time, and Axe is having an even worse time, and has bought a Ring of Health. So this like Vanguard rushing build, like he's going the exact lane cutting build. He just doesn't know that he needs the lane cut,
Dire's top
which
tower
is
under
boring,
attack.
especially because he's like ancient. Where is he? Okay. Ancient 6. Right. He's gonna get a kill. Oh, no. Okay. Not getting a kill.
Something about you.
So yeah, this is basically you don't show up here unless you have a sentry. There's no point. You're kind of just leeching experience. It could be like farming this, stacking this.
Radiant structures are fortified.
But let's keep moving. It's just a rough laning stage, but fortunately in a game that probably doesn't matter. I tried not to look too much at how the game went. I do know that you win, but that's about it. Yeah, so you've like created this gank, but it's never one that's going to succeed. Like you don't have your silence, you don't have detection. This place is pretty heavily watered by them. That's you. That's your wards. So yeah, it's your wards. I don't get this whole like trifecta wards. Maybe like for Monkey King. And it does help a bit. Like only one of these is necessary. If you were super scared of Monkey King, I would probably do this one and this one, because that means you see the teleport in and you see him jumping from this side. And it does actually catch him, so that's pretty good. So now you're going mid, this is fine. Like this is quite good. If Zeus isn't here, this is definitely a place you can be.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's just some last hitting stuff. You get your tome, Zeus gets a D ward, that's great. If you are doing this like sit mid as a support thing, make sure you are doing stacks as well, just to contribute to your team. But you're kind of playing this lane, like this game well so far. I don't know if, like, I don't know whether you know it or not. You're playing as the I don't need levels, so I'm not going to take levels because they're really not something you need. It's not like your level 6 allows ganks to happen on someone. Like, there's no one right now who really gets a lot out of not being silenced. Like a Mars or some shit. Like, sure, there's the troll ulti, but you've got the axe for that. There's epicenter, but as long as you have detection, like, you guys will be fine, kind of thing. So yeah, like, you're not taking a lot. You're taking the tome, which is good, and you're gonna take a lot of lane experience, like D-pushing and doing shit while your team. Yeah, so you knew Monkey was in the area because he pushed the lane in. So moving out of this tower, dangerous, but looks like it works out. So that's nice. But yeah, you were pretty much always going to die from that because Monkey King won't have travelled too far and can always hop back. Juggernaut's pinging for bottom. Zeus is pinging the shrine. What are you doing? You're going for a smoke rotation with Earth Spirit. This is. I don't understand the scan. I don't know whose that was, but this is a decent rotation. Maybe a little bit early on the silence, but a good gank. I probably would have used, like, you were rotating through here with the smoke. Try and get an observer in this area at the same time. You had 2 on you. Even if you detour down here, place it deep, and then rotate back up. It wouldn't have used more duration on your thing. I get that it was kind of scary, like you couldn't see a lot of heroes at the time. So like just placing the shallow one would have been fine. But definitely a good opportunity to get a ward on some vision that they wouldn't expect you to have and that you can take advantage of with another smoke. Jug's farming really well, or decent enough, to the point where I wouldn't be overly complaining about it. You place that under Ascent, which is really unfortunate, and there's that ward that you could have placed. They have vision of you placing these because it wasn't under smoke this time. I think it catches you on the way out because it's pretty fresh. Yoga's actually placed it at the same time. So he catches you on the way out, so he's going to assume there's something. And he actually doesn't see this. You then get this just after the vision from the sentry goes away, which is nice. So he's going to have to use another sentry or an observer to get rid of that. You pull a lot of kills out of this. Good silence. You did have a sentry, maybe trying to get it down during that sandstorm. Helps out, but other than that, fight's fine. They then de-ward all 3 of your observers off the back of that. Or they will if he walks over here.
Dire's middle tower is under
In the next minute.
tower is under attack.
Sorry. Yeah. So overall, you just need to, like,
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
the game is fine. You're playing well in that you recognize lanes that you should and shouldn't be in during lanes phase, like what's winning, what's losing. The Sand King Jug lane, like if you had a bit more vision it would be better, but it's not something that without like a third hero like Earth Spirit coming up that you're really going to get a kill. So instead of standing around not really doing anything, stacking is really good. But then in this transition, you're doing well to create movement, create smokes, trying to get vision. You get so lucky with this. And honestly, that's quite good. Troll's just going to go ahead and kill himself. For whatever reason. I don't know why he ulted. Yeah, so just, focus on, if you don't know where you should be, while you figure it out, make sure that you're stacking. Make sure that you're like, even if you just farm, like if you just kill like the little ones slowly and then stack up the big ones, that's fine too. You get some farm out of it. Especially if you feel like you just can't help a lane. Like sure you can enter a lane, but is it helping? I'm quite impressed with like how quickly you've crimed, and your play seems to have changed a good amount. He can just roll straight across. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, there it is. Nice. He's baiting. That's what he was doing. Yeah, that was quite a good global silence. You're watching your team, which is great.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, silence is really good in that he's not a hero that needs to be with his team ever. So he does get like way more levels than a typical support. If you go back to TI, like TI 8, and watch Xnova play it, you'll sort of see, like, watch from his player perspective as well, if it's available. It's really interesting to watch, like, how little he watches his hero, and, like, how much he knows that he's, I guess, like, the order in which he attacks things. He knows, or has just sort of developed a sense for, like, the rate at which things are dying, and he always flicks back to his hero as something's about to die, which is just something you develop over time. Really, there's no other way around it. But he sort of just has figured out the rate at which things die. He's always using, because like Arcane Curse is really good. I like this buyback. I like this buyback a lot. I would like it a lot more if you had Dust on you. Like you have a Zeus, sure, but it's... actually, I want to go back and see if you had it earlier. You did. But you didn't have ulti. So I wouldn't buy back yet. Wait, hang on, you buy back with 2 seconds left. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I fucked up. No. I mean, I guess you get 2 int out of it. And it costs you what? 250 gold? So... Oh no. I didn't mean to exit the game. Is it? That's the game I can't download. Yeah, I guess you just paid like double price for a mantle. I don't think there's much else to go into on that game, honestly. It sort of seemed pretty Tinker into Zeus-esque. I would like to see another one of your Silencer games, because it seems like a lot of the other heroes you're playing, like Shadow Demon and Rubik. Shadow Demon, I'm really not sure, and I will give one of them a watch actually. Yeah, let's have a quick little squiz. If there was something with that game, let me know. I will go look at it. But in terms of like, you know, that's Silencer game. Was this one right? Yeah. So what happens? Tinker, yeah, he buys a BKB. He doesn't have a Dagon. He's got no kill potential. It's 4 items at fucking 40 minutes. He's got less GPM than your Jug. Your Jug never dies. Yeah, this just seems like a game that you just win in time. Basically, you look at that lineup and you see that we have Zeus Silencer against Tinker, who's going to be taking a lot of farm off the rest of his team. Troll ends up with 13k net worth because Tinker's got, well, actually not that many last hits. But yeah, you've got like 2 big split push farm heavy heroes, and then this hero is like, well, how do I get my own? Yeah, just a game that you sort of win with time. So let's hop into how you lane with Shadow Demon. I'm assuming that you're playing POS 4?
begins.
Alright. So you don't level anything, which is great in terms of you weren't going to use anything, but if we rewind 10 seconds, I would like to see you walk
The
up this hill,
battle
because you
begins.
see 3 heroes down here. I want you up this hill to see if he's here, so that you stop him grabbing that bounty with disruption. This is a really weird Shadow Demon game. This ward actually does it right. I thought it would get blocked more by that tree. If you were to tango a tree during the laning stage, I would suggest it be this one, because that gives you this line of sight as well, which can be nice, especially if Undying rotates up, but Undying is going to try lane with Pudge. Kind of a brutal try lane, but also that Pudge was dead there. Yeah, so Shadow Demon's great at like level 3 with this bullshit, or until he runs out of mana. Ooh, this guy has a wand, and basically he's half HP, but he's got like 70 health stored on this already, which is the thing that's not great about Shadow Demon. The one place where Shadow Demon's really good is if there's a hero who has something that is purgeable and like spammable, because Demonic Purge is really good at getting rid of that. So like Sven, Shadow Demon's actually quite good against, because you keep Sven always slow, and his shield, if he ever pops it during Demonic Purge, just instantly disappears. Things like that. Some other heroes like OD, who's quite decent against, and then obviously he's really good against like Terrorblade Luna, Terrorblade Luna, somewhat anti-mage, not really, but in terms of, he's really great against Terrorblade, because you just, anytime his illusion shows up in a lane, you make 2 of yours, kill his illusion, then push the lane the other way, and you get a ton of farm for doing it. So you sort of stop a lot of the game delaying that Terrorblade can do. And then he's also really good with Terrorblade for the same reason, but it amplifies that game delaying. I'd be very wary about throwing these once you see this magic stick. If you throw him from the fog, he won't get the charges. It's a little bit harder to land him, but it'll be worth your time, because like here, that spell did 20 damage, or 46 damage, right? And it gave him 15 health, and he's going to regen that damage very quickly. It's basically all back now, including the right click. So it just increases this burst health that he has and makes him harder to kill in a lane that's already very hard to kill. The only hero that you're playing that has a stun in lane is Rubik. And then you make this rotation down here, so that's good in that this is a very even lane. Pango can get very annoying with Lucky Shot and stop him lasting a lot, but for now it'll be fine. But I don't like rotating to tri-lane into an Undying, because Undying is always going to win that tri-lane. Especially with the Juggernaut. Not so much a Pudge, but especially with the Juggernaut. And Phoenix is not really at a point where he can die in this lane. He's got Icarus Dive. He's against 3 melee heroes and no real stun but a hook. But that can happen because strength heroes, Undying, and overcommitting. So here I would take advantage of the huge thing that Shadow Demon has that not many heroes have, maybe Venge and Disruptor. He can stack 3 or 4 camps at once. You can quite easily do 3, and then if you learn the Shadow Poison ticks, you can do 4. And then that would just, the second this guy gets, or it's the second Storm is level 5, or maybe level 7 with like 2 points in Static Remnant, he just instantly hits like level 10 and farming a quad stack of 4 camps. Because he basically gets 4 minutes worth of farm in 1 minute. And you can sit, or you can even sit there. He gets a ton of gold. You sit there and leech it. You're level 6. Instead, you're challenging a tri lane. That's not really a kill lane at all. Maybe bounties are getting a little bit more out of it in terms of gold, but way less in experience. Same with you and Phoenix. And yeah.
Bounty, precious bounty.
That's some good body blocking. I like this, but let's speed it up because I feel like it's just the same error that's making a lot of the problem.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Storm looks like he's a lot better than his opponents.
My eternal
Just in the fact that SF has what? SF's 26 and 8, Storm's 34, so he's not actually that much better. He's just getting kills. I'm amazed that he killed him pre-6, but he's done well and stacked 2 camps,
Is under attack.
which is quite impressive. And so he's sped up his own farm a good
Dire's
chunk.
middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, so now Pudge has rotated up here to lane here for some unknown reason, because they're not killing this guy.
time to punch.
Yeah, there's just no way.
Not a good look for me.
So yeah, this is like, this game is just people thinking that they can get kills on something or trying to challenge farm on something, but in a situation where you just are not going to. That's a little unfortunate. Maybe playing around too long. Storm is going to overcommit. Pango's
Illusion.
quite bad.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
But he gets a kill on you. I guess that's fine. You traded your life for Storm. In your eyes, I like the sentiment behind the play.
Dire's middle
Some
tower
more
is under
stacking
attack.
again. I think it's just a really important fact that you're really missing a lot of. Just try to, like,
Radiant's
subconsciously,
middle tower is under
if you're
attack.
supporting, stack, like, you got to recognize depending on the lane. So like if it's Lifestealer versus Pango, you're not going to stack this camp or this camp because Pango can farm them. So just try, like, before 7 minutes to stack one, like, these camps at least well, not each, but just total stack 3 times in 7 minutes. That's just less than half of the amount of stacks possible. And if you just get the habit, then it will just be something that you think about and you'll be deciding whether you want to do it that game. Depending on the lane. Like, sometimes you don't want to, sometimes you do, but just build the habit regardless of whether you do or don't to begin with, so that it's something that's on your mind. Sort of committing for all these shadow poisons. I don't think there was ever a situation where you kill the Jug, but I mean, I guess he ends up dying for Storm there. More so from their overcommittal than from Storm's rotation, or your baiting.
Thank you.
Shadow Fiend is really trying to catch up, and he's very far behind, but he should be in the jungle. There is so much jungle farm that he's not taking, and I don't know why he's trying to pressure this tower. But now he goes there. Lifestealer's just having a great game, so this is good. You died at Pathing? Banish him, his unit still exists, so yeah, you can't walk past it, and that kind of fucks you up. That's fine, shit happens. So here, your vision is pretty good. You've got, like, good kill vision for the Shadow Fiend.
Is under attack.
Sadly, Storm dies, and so does
Radiant's
Phoenix.
top tower is under attack.
It's good that you're watching them, like watching the fights,
Dire's structures are fortified.
so to have a level of understanding of what's going on in terms of game state.
is under attack.
Because like if nothing else, from the fight,
Radiant's middle tower
you
is
get
under
the
attack.
information
Radiant's
of
middle tower has fallen.
how our fight's going, how much damage is my Jug doing, whether or not, like, it's a lot easier to tell just from seeing it than it is from like looking at his items and their items, armor and shit. Really do try to focus to get last hits on towers, because you just lose 150 gold for not doing that your team could have otherwise. If it redistributed, it wouldn't be as bad, but you just straight up lose it. Yeah, this game just sort of seems like your Lifestealer or Clinks is going to get really big and be basically unkillable. And that is something that Lifestealer does a lot of in this patch. He's kind of fucking broken right now. Just because he's so quick. To put in comparison, once he gets his full build up and running, as long as Weaver doesn't have that talent, he can actually outrun a Weaver with no boots from one end of the map to the other. Which is really fucked up, because Weaver used to be that hero that could get away without buying boots and still be faster than everyone. We have some stacks, that's great, that's fantastic. Good stacks, and keep those up. So you should be looking to clear this wave, and probably this wave, and then stack this from afar with that. Yeah, so here, right now, if you just rotate it there, push that, that's a stack. Storm also could have got it there. You then get these bounty runes. You get 2. Jug is not on your team. Lifesteal is getting real close to his Radiance. And he's level 12, 13. Well, Jug's level 9. That's fantastic. And Jug, for some reason, has gone a Yarship before he's farming items. So the reason Maelstrom's gotten super popular lately is Battle Fury is just straight up worse than it used to be. So Battle Fury got nerfed so that Quelling Blade gives 24 damage, and then Battle Fury used to give a percentage damage increase on creeps. It's now been reduced to that flat 24 damage as well that Quelling Blade gives. So buying a Maelstrom, because you get it so much earlier, actually kind of is just way better than a Battle Fury now, because all the creeps on the map are worth less. So getting an item that not only gets you farming the creeps faster at an earlier timing in Maelstrom, but also provides things that you want in the fight way more than Battle Fury does, means that it's just outright a better item. And that's why like even drums are a better item. And the same reason that drums are a better first item on Ursa right now than a Blink Dagger. Because drums on an Ursa means that he can continuously use Overpower without ever running out of mana. And get him from camp to camp faster to the point where it's basically the same speed as a Blink Dagger in terms of blinking and then having to walk, and then walking and then blinking. You just run faster in general. You basically get there in the same amount of time. And it makes him more tanky. So the reason that drums are the better than Blink for Ursa is the same reason that Maelstrom is better for a lot of carries than Battle Fury right now. Maybe that at some point this changes, but a Maelstrom, like, it had to get nerfed last patch just to do like 10 less damage, just to slow farm speeds a bit, because it's really good at that and is so good for fighting. So like there are a lot of heroes that, like Juggernaut, for example, wants to be using Omni Slash to get kills constantly, like whenever he can. And a Maelstrom helps with that a hell of a lot more than a Battle Fury does. I don't know what that was, but that was very ambitious. You get the rotation of 3 down here. He's just getting really close to this. I just want to fast forward. He's just going to farm. He's making good farm rotations, just in terms of he recognizes he can farm that in between the 2 waves. And he has a Radiance. And then you guys lose 2 heroes, but it doesn't really matter, because Radiance.
Structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
I don't know what
Radiant's
this is.
bottom tower is under attack.
Okay.
Radiant's
Sure.
top tower is under attack.
Do you guys make a rotation off the back of this? Yeah, cool. Okay, so that's fantastic. I love this. I don't know if you just... Where did you buy the smoke? You got a smoke shipping out to you. You recognize that he's just bought his Radiance. Fantastic. You like, let's smoke gank. This is an item that they don't know we have and is a huge power spike for us. Like now, all of their heroes have a 17% miss chance when they're near Silencer, or when they're near Lifestealer, and are taking a hell of a lot of damage for this early in the game. Plus, Storm has an Orchid and a Kaya, so he's strong too. He has half mana, but he's strong. You find this Juggernaut early. He's hopping in. You're gonna blow him up. Boom, huge kill. You kill this Tombstone, I'm assuming. Yep, nice. I don't like that Banish. I want you to save it for him. And also banishing the Undying gives everyone else more time to catch up, and Undying more time to get another Decay off. Which, if he's going to die, the thing that he really wants to do is get another Decay off. Yep, get a nice kill there. Brilliant. So because he has a Radiance, what you can do is disrupt him and create illusions that sort of run further down the lane, farm the wave, or run into like their jungle camps or your jungle camps and farm those. Storm's just gonna sort of snowball, and he's got a Radiance Lifestealer that can jump inside of him, and this game feels pretty over. I'm not really sure what response they have for it, because they have one stun, or two stuns, one that goes through BKB, but you've got a metric shit ton of jump. What the fuck happened there? You've got Juggernaut here, and Storm doesn't Orchid. Okay. Interesting. I like the smoke. It wasn't actually in vision. I would have liked like a fake back kind of thing. They might have actually heard it based on this. Yeah, they're pinging here. If you sort of, because there is a little bit of fade time in vision, if you fake back to like here, I know it's easy to say with hindsight, but like would like down here even, then smoke and run back in. I feel like that gives them more time to feel safe and leads you off into a better rotation. Storm just gets a snowball pick off. Huge ulti by Phoenix. Guarantees this kill. I don't know what the fuck this guy's thinking, but yeah, this game just feels really over. Is there something that's going to delay this? He's just going to get his S and Y, that's fine. He's running a Clarity, he needs to ship another one. Phoenix is getting big. He's got his experience gain. Wait, no, I'm going to take his talent tree. It's a 90 GPM talent, right? He's got his GPM, or whatever it is. Bounty's just being a dick and stealing money, and he's got really great items. I like these a lot. I would also kind of like to see him buying a pipe next. If that's what he gets, that's brilliant. You guys just kill those dudes. These guys are all dying. Hang on, let's see how you fought that. It's a bit of player perspective. Alright, so you're pinging to go on the Juggernaut. You use these to scout. I like it. You see this happening. Right. So the egg's happening. You just chuck down, yeah, bit of nuke. Perfect. I'm not sure you even needed to ult there. They were kind of just dead, and you would have your ult here instead.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
An ult here would do quite well at catching people. Okay, so you're looking ahead of your game. Hang on. So this is bad. This is not what you want. So your camera is constantly looking to where you're trying to fight, right? But you've seen Storm jump in, and you've seen that he has 0 mana. Now, Juggernaut has turned around with like 10 health left. You've assumed that he's dead, but he has hit you with an Omnislash, so you know that he's not dead. You need to be turning and disrupting your Storm here. And that's like one of the big mentality things in the difference between people who are really good at heroes like Io and Oracle and in some cases Dazzle, Tusk even, that makes them a lot better than a lot of players, including myself. I'm terrible at Oracle. But having the game presence to look for more than the enemy and like recognizing the situations that you need disruption. So essentially in this game there are 3 situations that disruption is really good on the defensive side for team fights, not for like creating heroes to push. For team fights, 1 is an Omnislash. An Omnislash is broken by disruption. Disruptor counters Jug in a decent manner because of this. The second is Dismember. So you can use it on either party, but disrupting someone who's being dismembered or him while he dismembers obviously breaks the spell. And the third is Rolling Thunder. When Rolling Thunder is happening and someone is close to a wall and they're getting chain stunned, you can disrupt them and save them from a lot of damage and a lot of stun duration. The illusions will pretty much instantly die to a Pengo and like a lot of these guys, but this, like, there's no reason that he doesn't get disrupted here other than the fact that you're just not looking. You end up like running further down, you disrupt yourself when no damage is happening. I guess it's to stop like that Q. But Jug ends up getting a kill on Storm for 1300 gold and then living for a while here. And then you die. And that's a big swing in this game. It stops the push, stops everything. If you get the disruption off, that Jug is just dead. Storm just kills him when he gets out of the thing. And you guys get a tower, maybe even another tower. Like I'm not trying to flame you, but like that fight is on you, and you should recognize that and use it as an experience to look out for stuff like that in the future. You've bought another smoke. This is fantastic. I like it. You've grouped them up. You're obviously talking to them to some degree, or they just happen to be farming there and you teleported there. This guy's listening to you at least. You get 3-man rotation. Storm's running in on his own. Getting his team killed. There's the disruption. Hang on. Who did you disrupt? Slow this down. Sorry. Okay. So we're running in. We're going for this smoke. Storm jumps in because he's a psycho. He tries to kill a Pudge who has 2600 health. Bounty gets hooked when they're trying to hook Storm. Lifestealer runs in. He gets ulti. You disrupt Pudge. Okay, so in this scenario, I mean, yeah, it's probably the right play. Because it sort of does stop you disengage and lets Lifestealer do whatever the fuck. No, actually, forget what I'm saying. That is the right play. You disrupt Pudge, that's good. This guy's now very out of mana. You die off to the Undying, who is not gonna die without one of your cores there. Storm is probably gonna cark it here. Yeah, he's dead. Bounty picks up a nice kill on the back. He can actually invis back in and kill this guy. If he was watching the fight, he would know it, but he was watching his half of the fight, so he doesn't know it. He's gonna find him though. And I think he's... Oh no. Okay, so that's the wrong order of operations. And also, he probably had too much health. And he's gonna die for that. No. What? Okay, he's not gonna die for that. Pudge is gonna try and throw one of those hooks,
Dire's
and
middle
he's gonna
tower
live for
is
that.
under attack.
That's one of the reasons you never really throw hooks as Pudge unless it's set up. Or unless you absolutely have to, because like that bounty was 100% dead if Pudge didn't throw that hook. Everyone's just gonna farm for a little bit because Storm's dead. So this is the thing. It's just miscommunication that is now delaying this game. You were far enough ahead to the point where taking this fight was a fight to end the game or take a Rax. One mistake on the Omni Slash and disrupting loses you the fight, essentially, delays the push. Now you come out of that and you have the right idea. We're still really far ahead. We want to take this smoke. We have no cooldowns we're massively relying on. They have a couple that might still be on cooldown, like Omni Slash. I think it was on cooldown for that fight. Like Flesh Golem, like Requiem. He might not have his souls back. He died in that fight, and it still might be on cooldown. You go for the smoke plate. Before you get there, Storm's going for a solo kill. So by the time you are there, he's on like a quarter mana. He's not really fighting. Phoenix uses Egg at a time when Lifesteal is running away from people after you get him out of Dismember. So like he was in a situation where Pango wasn't rolling him, Dismember was down, he could have just been free hitting people, he ran away. So it's like this level of miscommunication. The Egg goes off, the fight is very delayed, and you end up losing it. Storm dies again. Now you have to wait for him again. I like this guy's name in terms of pickoffs, but he probably just got block picked by the SF from the other team. Storm is trying to now can no longer solo kill Jug because Jug has that Manta, and then Jug is going for a Diffusal to further try and fuck with Storm, I guess. Jumps down, hits him once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Yeah, okay. Well, with the DD rune, he can kill him.
You blew it.
That's fantastic. You guys, Roche is a great idea. That's very unfortunate that you missed that. But you would catch it if you were placing sentries proper. So all of this area from about here onwards is not an area where observers get placed. There's no reason they would place them further back here. Maybe like here, but usually it's like right on this edge, right? Because they still want to see the rune, they still want to see the far side of the Roche pits that you guys can't just sneak around this edge. So in order to get this vision and like this vision, the ward needs to be up here. So this sentry should be here. If anything, at absolute, like most extreme, it's like here. And that always catches these, sees more to this side, ends up seeing a lot of this middle part in case there's like an invis hero. Yeah, so if you place in that sentry proper, like there's never even a point that you put the sentry up here. You always put in the sentry in this area, you'd catch that. It's just unlucky that you didn't, but in terms of when you're placing sentries and observers, just think about like the whole area that you're covering and what's more efficient in terms of, am I getting all this dead space? If not, is there live space on the other side that I could be getting? You get an easy Roche. This game is coming to a close. I feel like there's not like huge holes in your games, it's just little things. For now anyway. I don't think you should be running all the way away with Lifestealer. But I guess once this egg fucks up, it's kind of donezo's. Storm has no mana, Storm's dead. That's a good disruption. That's a really good disruption. He's dead though. I like the disrupt and teleport. That's strong. Good play. But now this guy is Actually, to be honest, he's probably gonna live. I was gonna say he's gonna use double Aegis, but he's speedy. He's fast as fuck, boy. Okay, so at this point, he realizes no one can see him because he can't see them. Jug actually stops chasing at all. I just thought Jug would cut across here. He can just walk up here and teleport out, but we'll see what he does. He's just gonna leg it. That's fine. If he walks up there and teleports out, then they just never see him again.
Is under attack.
He's even going to be ballsy enough to keep farming. Okay, so he's going to shrine up. Jug's going to show in a terrible place. SF's going to die. I really don't like that disruption. That gives the chance for the hook out. Yeah, that's bad. You really... The reason burst damage is so strong is it gives people limited time to react. Disrupting on something like that gives people 3 seconds to react, or 2.75 seconds to react. Try to avoid it as best you can. Like, if you don't disrupt Shadow Fiend there, let's just like break it through, right? Regardless of whether or not Pudge throws a hook. If you guys don't disrupt Shadow Fiend here, so 2.75 seconds, you already see Juggernaut. Shadow Fiend comes up the stairs and you're going to kill him, and then your next move is to go and kill the next guy you can see who is Juggernaut. If Pudge throws a hook, you probably chase him because you see the hook, you know someone's there. He's fat and slow, Bounty's really close to him, that's a track, that's a kill. But you don't see him, you see Juggernaut. So let's see what happens if you had an extra 2.5 seconds to chase Jug. So you kill Shadow Fiend, you now run over to Jug. He spin TPs.
There will be another time to fight.
So, in the 3 seconds that his teleport was channeling, you guys, like, that's kind of when you started hitting him. So let's have a look. He's got a 3-second channel. You start hitting him here. So he's got like 2 seconds left. So you have double this time if you don't disrupt there to go for him and to hit him. And he probably dies if you don't disrupt this guy here. And that's like, disruption is kind of like Black Hole and like Oracle ulti, in that it's not a spell that you want to throw out because the threat of the spell is more of a detriment than the spell itself. Like, a lot of the really good Pudges right now, they're getting really, really tanky and almost unkillable. And then they're running into the middle of the fight and not dismembering anyone until every stun has been thrown and there's no way to break dismember. Because instead of walking in, throwing a dismember, getting it cancelled, and then continue on the fight, in a position where he's a big tanky boy who no longer has a big stun, they don't need to kill him. They can kind of just ignore him and kill someone of higher value instead. Whereas if he walks in and doesn't use Dismember, they all now have to use their stuns to stop him getting up to them, because he's just going to rot them and hit them in the face. But they also have to hold their stuns from other units, or like from other high value targets, to be able to break Dismember. So it's kind of like the same here. Like, you've got 3 situations that I mentioned before where disruption is really good against them. So like, I think the main one would be this Omni Slash. Like, sure, Omni Slash was on cooldown, but like, you've got Dismember, you've got fucking Pengo Roll. You couldn't see the Pengo, I don't think, during this engagement. Maybe you could, maybe I just wasn't looking at the map. But if you don't use it on that Shadow Fiend, then it really deters the Pudge from going for that hook Dismember, or the Pengo for going for that roll chain stun on someone, because the disruption is there just in case. So if there's a fight where you don't need to use it, try not to use it at all, especially if there's someone that hasn't joined the fight that you need it against. And like,
top tower is under attack.
if you are playing a lot of this hero, I would suggest that if you lose a team fight, go back and watch it and just look at how you use this skill and whether it could have made a difference if you used it differently, because it is such a difference maker of a skill. I liken it a lot to Snowball on Tusk. Snowball on Tusk is like a bit stronger because you can use it on many heroes, but also a bit weaker because they end up dispositioned depending on how the game goes. But like there is a situation where if you don't Snowball to initiate and instead sit at the back lines with a Blink Dagger, and then like a Magnus comes in and RPs your team, and you jump in, Snowball the Magnus, and then pick up your whole team, suddenly they don't exist for the entire duration of an RP, and that's like a fucking huge spell that now just does nothing. There are some players in Oz who are really, really good at it. Numot's one of them. He does it like all the fucking time. Like I've seen him pull people out of black hole and shit somehow. But yeah, that's like a thing to think about. And it just kind of seems like if you get a decent fight, you win the game, but you just haven't caught a break for like the last 3 fights. Yeah, they just can't even actually think about fighting you. Especially because... Oh, okay, we're all legging it. Why are we legging it? We're getting bounty runes.
Radiant's top shrine is under attack.
I don't really understand this. Definitely could have finished this Rax off. Especially with this. And this is going to expire very soon.
Stupendous.
Oh, not that soon. 2.5 minutes. There it's used. That's a pretty bad egg. Now let's jump back a little bit. How are you using your spells? Where do we disrupt? You disrupt the Juggernaut. So instead of that, I'd be holding it and be looking to disrupt this guy. I don't know why I didn't take control of the thing and run away, but yeah. Phoenix throws a very defensive egg where he could be putting it like here and baiting the enemy team into hitting it for the Storm Jump and Lifesteal respawn, but yeah, okay, the Storm's gonna kill himself again.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
You throw Disruption on a Pudge for some reason and then die. And there's the Omni Slash, and yeah, so there's that. They're now going to push and get the building, and maybe a Rax. You lose this game? Surely not. No, yeah. You just get like a rebuttal fight. Storm hits 25 and does a base jump, okay. You get triple buyback, Storm hits 25, jumps all this shit. Get a bunch of kills. This guy doesn't have buyback, but he's going to be alive before you get there. There's catapults here for some reason that they haven't killed yet. I don't know what patch wasn't there. In terms of killing those catapults, way earlier. You're going to get a storm jump onto someone and get a kill off it. He did that blind. That's kind of impressive. You're gonna get a melee Rax.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle
Storm gets
barracks
very lucky
has
there.
fallen.
That's an annoying hitbox for the Pudge. And probably gets the bite on him too. Yeah, so yeah, basically this is just gonna just be
Radiant's
continual
bottom shrine
sieging.
is
You guys
under
are so
attack.
far ahead. Net worth graph is top 3 you guys, then 2 heroes who should be rich. This guy has to be rich to be a hero.
Radiant's bottom shrine has
You're doing
fallen.
quite well in the way of supporting and buying support items. I really don't like these boots of travel. That 100% should be a Glimmer Cape, especially with his cast range. And I don't know what the talents are on Shadow Demon, but it's not these because he's a Chaos Knights. But if you have a GPM talent or a cast range talent and you have that and a Glimmer Cape, then you just like stop your team dying so well. very good item. Limcate 4 staff are the 2 most underrated items in the game, but the 2 most mentioned items by people trying to
Radiant's top shrine is under attack.
like make YouTube videos and coaching videos and shit
Radiant's top shrine.
because they are so good. They both help your team do a lot of shit.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So in this situation, like, you do 114 damage with 184 attack speed. So to a tower, you do literally nothing. Like, you don't speed up the kill on the tower at all. But if you're sitting out of vision and in a position where they can't get an initiation or hook or whatever on you, you've got 3 really, really good spells and then 1 like pretty solid spell. So I think the trade-off's not worth. Don't hit buildings, unless everyone's dead. They kind of are dead, but like, yeah, I just
Radiant's
would avoid
bottom
it.
tower has fallen.
I think you contribute a lot more by not hitting that building.
Radiant's bottom has fallen.
Yeah. But you guys just kind
Radiant's
of wait.
middle tower is under attack.
Anyway. Yeah, I just sort of wanted to briefly go over like some of the things you're doing.
Radiant's
I-
top towers are under attack.
I could break down
Dire
some laning stuff in more detail in like a slower video if you wanted to, but it just so happened that the 2 games I picked here were kind of games where you didn't really need to lane, and you didn't, to your credit. Like you didn't really look like you knew what to do, but you knew that that wasn't the place that you needed to be, and that was good. I think this game would have gone a lot smoother if you even just regular stacked or Shadow Demon stacked, got this Storm on a huge snowball. He would have had like his items a couple minutes earlier. Probably doesn't die in that bottom lane when he runs out of mana on that early gank where he just had a Kaya, because he's probably got an extra item or he's like a level higher. Yeah, if you go for that play of like assisting the snowball, so like the number one thing that gets every player on a team a lot of farm is one hero just getting out of control and requiring 5 heroes on the other team to control him. So if you get Storm, like in any game that a Storm's in, it's basically Storm. That hero that does that is Storm. Unless he's against like Nyx Anti-Mage or some shit. But, well, I mean, even then, he needs that earlier start even more. If you get the Storm out of control, he is just going to spend the rest of his game picking up farm when there's no one to kill, and if there is someone to kill, he's killing them. If their heroes are dead, you suddenly have space all over the map to farm. So spending that time to sacrifice your early game a little bit in order to up his just ups your game a little bit later on, because he's snowballing a little bit earlier. And so instead of having like 3 minutes to farm, you have like 8, because you're starting to farm at 13 minutes when Storm's going and killing everybody. Or if you're a hero like Bounty Hunter who wants to be there for the kills, you'll get there for kills earlier and there's more kills happening. Yeah. So other than that, like it's fine. You just need to figure out what you're going to do when you're not in the lane. And I'll try and look at a game later on where you are in the lane. You are calling smokes well. I like this. You're picking up smokes at item timings. You could be placing wards more when you smoke. I think you did it in one of those 3 smokes. 3 smokes? You had 4 smokes, but I saw 3. And you place wards in one of the 3 that I saw. And it was fine, and you would have done better if you had either like a deep ward before you smoke. Like, you can even buy 2 smokes, use one with a single support to go deep, place a ward, gank a lane. So let's say you go deep, you place a ward on the cliff in the Radiant jungle, then you gank bottom with the smoke. After that, you, the support, and the offlaner who you've now met up with, just back out a little bit, smoke again, rotate mid, get another kill. Or rotate deep into the jungle where their carry's gone because you've killed the support in the lane and he's gone to farm. You now see him because you place that deep ward. You rotate in, you get the kill. Or you just smoke on your own, place a deep ward so you have the vision, then walk back to your team and use another smoke to then gank on that vision. So you know what you're going into, so you know what you're catching. Yeah, but other than that, you did fine. Just a couple things, like in terms of spell usage, item choice, I would have really liked to see, like, I get that you probably didn't need to get it, and you probably bought Travels, because it was a little bit of a meme, but Glimmer Cape, really good. Force Staff, really good. Finishing your Magic Wand, really good. Yeah. I hope that helps. You've made a good climb, and you should see it continue. If I was going to recommend heroes to be playing, as POS 5, Winter Wyvern, Warlock. I don't think there are any heroes better than them right now. Crystal Maiden's pretty decent too. Winter Wyvern, Warlock both have really good stuns that go through BKB, and there are a lot of BKB heroes in the meta right now, and sort of hard to catch heroes. So if you can catch them, that's fantastic. I mean, like, we're talking Pango, we're talking Lifestealer, we're talking Ember Spirit, Anti-Mage, like Warlock, Winter Wyvern, really good at catching them. Winter Wyvern, really good D-push, can be that like dead lane hero that goes to the lane where no one wants to go because they're going to die, and pushes it twice and dies for it, but is stopping them taking towers because he's pushing, and so that death is fine. And then if you're playing POS 4, I like the Rubik picks. I'll have a look at how you play them. Other heroes that are like quite good at the moment, like Clockwork, Winter Wyvern can be played as the 4, like Lion, Shaman, that sort of shit. But you seem to be playing a lot of the 5, and I would really recommend looking into / learning Winter Wyvern, Warlock. Winter Wyvern, you just have to be careful. Same with Shadow Demon in how you use Cold Embrace, similar to Disruption. Really strong spell. You combine that with a Glimmer Cape, they're basically invulnerable for 5 seconds or whatever. Add a 4-staff to it and they can't even find them. But yeah, other than that, all is well, and good luck to you further.